Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Esoteric Tea, with Cortney, me, and Josh, Mr. Floyd's universe. Let me slow down. I don't know why I'm speaking so quickly. I always tell myself there's a sign on my computer saying, speak slowly with kindness, and I've got to remember that. I can speak slowly. I don't need to rush everywhere. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming, Secret Truth. Thank you for coming, Jackie J. Millie Della Prida, thank you for coming. Matt Gessick, thank you for coming. Big Dag Standing Tall, thank you for coming. And Secret of Truth, too. Shelley, I'm glad you're here. I think that's everybody.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Esoteric Tea. Yes, thank you, Lucky.
Thank you, Heen. Thank you, Heen, for coming. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Okay, we all know Cortney, Stars of the Morning Light, and her channel. Of course, know my channel. Of course, that's why you're here, right? And most importantly, we've invited Mr. Floyd's universe, Josh.
Hi, guys.
And just opening the floor to. So, who is Josh? Who is Mr. Floyd's universe? Could you tell me a little about yourself?
Sure. Let's see. Mr. Floyd's universe. First off, my channel. I'll go over my channel a little bit. I channel Archangel Raphael, Saint Germain, Goddess Mother Isis, Sekhmet, Kuan Yin, White Buffalo, Calf Woman, and if I want my heart to feel like it's going to explode, Archangel Michael as well. I can channel him, but it's not good for my heart. But it's very stressful. But because he doesn't tune down his energy like Saint Germain. Generally, if you're going to channel, he's your first channel for most people. But because he's that grand alchemist with energy, right? And Archangel Michael will just bust right through. But so I started channeling about 2 years ago, give or take. And you can see on my channel, Mr. Floyd's Universe, there's a video of a short that I did of a hawk. It was about a year and a half ago, maybe a little longer than that. And I'm like, this is the sign, right? And then I'm like, I got to go. There was a car coming, and I pulled over. And so I jump in the car, and I peel off. And the next day, I'm sitting here after I'd worked at a lobster shack, which is favorite of them. And so I've been working a lot, and I come home, and I'm stinking like lobster. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, what? I can't hear you. What? And I'm literally hearing voices like right? Exactly. But I mean, I don't hear voices otherwise generally unless and I'm hearing this and it's like, what? Okay, speak louder. And I kind of got what was going on. So I immediately grabbed the voice recorder, right? And then started recording it. And so that became my first channeling with Saint Germain. I had seen Saint Germain liquor bottles with friends going into a liquor store. I'm not a drinker or anything, but sometimes you end up in a liquor store, what have you, right? And so there's Saint Germain bottles where like one was here, one was over here, they were like strategically staring at me, right? And then for like a week, every video, was like Saint Germain this or Saint Germain that, and purple was starting to show up everywhere, and so like poof, and then a week later I'm channeling Saint Germain. So my first channeling is actually on the channel. There's no graphic other than like some floating pictures. It took me about 15 hours to get it uploaded, but figured it all out. Yeah, especially when I had to crunch it through turn it in from an MP4 to a video, audio to a video.
Oh my goodness!
And I didn't know what I was doing, but when you're determined to do something, when you have this drive, and I'm like, I got to get to work, but I got to get this uploaded. I want to get it done, and so I'm like rushing to get it done, and I managed to make it work on time, but I got it uploaded. But it took me from like 7 in the morning.
Josh, so when was that? How long have you been channeling, and how long has your show been going then?
My show,
I'm kind of new.
The show's been going for 9 months. I started it June, the first week of June last year.
Okay, cool.
There's coincidences between all this if you understand in a little bit how Saint Germain works, specifically. Saint Germain uses other people, right? He has other channelers. The big one is Tara Arnold, if you know who Tara Arnold is. So you go back and you scroll backwards in Tara Arnold's videos, her first handful of videos, outside of her channeling in a corner like me, like a dead corner, which is actually not a bad place because it absorbs any energies like attacks or anything. It'll just die out in the corner. But she also is channeling by a lake. And I started doing Good Dawning, which I'll return back to at some point, over by Lake. I live in Longmont here, so there's Lake McIntosh right around the corner. Longmont, Colorado. And so Lake McIntosh, which overlooks the Rocky Mountains, and there's a 14,000 foot mountain right there. And so I'm channeling And then I go back, and it's like I started doing this, right? And then a month later, I look at Tara Arnold. I scroll back into Tara Arnold, and her first, outside of her first channelings from the house, she's channeling from a lake. And I'm like, all right, Saint Germain, I got you. And it's just kind of funny how it's literally like a mirror of what I was doing. And in generally the same time frame that she had started channeling with Saint Germain. So there you go. So I have really no idea other than that I'm on this path, that Saint Germain, and now Archangel Raphael. It was actually Archangel Raphael that had tapped me on the shoulder about 3 years ago. I'm heading on 3 years now. They go, hey, you get out of the dark night. Start. It's going to take you a minute, but just start moving forward. And I literally, but it's not that he tapped me. I literally felt, hey, yo.
Yeah.
And I turned around. I'm like, what? And then I saw this big flash of green, and that was it. And so Archangel Raphael and I have been ever since. And then he brought in Saint Germain. Like in Saint Germain, he's like, this is the energy that'll work with you. And so for a while, I was channeling both of them, because I knew Archangel Raphael's energy, and so he merged Saint Germain in. And now I channel Archangel Raphael in its own, Saint Germain separately. And there's no combination anymore of the two energies.
Okay. So does your channel also, and just you in general, Josh?
Yeah.
Do you not just give the messages, but do you learn from them privately as well?
Oh, I'm talking to Saint Germain and Archangel Raphael on a daily, all the time.
Yeah.
Am I learning from them? Absolutely. What they're doing for me, when I channel, first off, when I'm channeling, I'm getting all that internal. You're feeling it from my end as far as what I'm projecting from Saint Germain, but can you imagine as on the channel, as it's flowing through me, what I'm actually gaining from that? And so am I learning from that? Absolutely. My internals are learning. My whole body is learning in every different way, because when I channel Archangel Raphael, I get a different feeling inside me. Or if I channel White Buffalo Catwoman, I have this urge to go ground at the park, right? And go stare at the mountains for 5 hours. And that's incredible healing. But I also feel that. I feel her walking in the grass, and I feel her energy, with the mountains and whatnot. But I'm also, Josh, go ahead.
Sorry, because we interview people here. Sorry, Lucky, I'm taking over your show here, buddy. If we interview people here, can you give us your definition of channeling for you, like how you channel? Because some it's just receiving messages. For you, though, it sounds like it's an entire experience.
It's an entire visceral process. For myself, I'm at what they consider an open channel. So there's different types of channels. There's a trans channel, which I was sort of in the beginning. Trans channel, best one to describe that would be Daniel Scranton, right? So Daniel Scranton has to put himself in a vibrational trance. He tones himself through an energetic vibration that drops him into a vibration where he can channel the masters or Saint Germain or Archangel Raphael, whomever he's channeling at that time. That would be the best example as a trans channeler. Now, I'm what they consider an open channel. So it's an open channel. The first time I channeled Archangel Raphael, I didn't have to do any toning. I heard it and it came through.
Okay.
Most times, though, and I didn't realize this, right? You gain an energy, right? And we seal this off. Have a nice thank you and come back when you know. But I never sealed it up. I just went, okay. And just, after I was done, I was like, all right, I got to figure out how to get this uploaded. That was it. And I didn't walk away and clear the energies. I didn't, anything. So Archangel Raphael just was like, this is going to work. And so he just left himself in my frame. And I don't have a problem with that. Saint Germain, they left themselves. Those were the two I first channeled. Were in my frame, right? And so I just was like, okay. And so anytime I want to call on them, after about a week or so after channeling, the first couple, it's like, what? The first week I had to tune myself to get it to start working. Really, we had to figure out vibrationally how loud they needed to be for me to hear them, is really what it was. We were on the frequency, but it was like, can you speak up? Can you speak up? I'm still not hearing you, And now I'm not hearing them anymore because it's just flowing through me. But in the beginning, it was, I'm hearing it and then I'm stating it. And kind of, if you've ever, I'll have to remember his name. The channeler, and his name's slipping me, the one who speaks twice. He channels and then he says it and then he says it again. It'll come to me, but get them on camera. I forgot his name. But yeah. And so from my end, it was literally hear it, say it, repeat it, like rinse and, but now it's just, it flows right through. And as far as, Yeah, and it's just we're just kind of merged at this point. So I can, if I want to talk to Saint Germain, it's like he's not going to tell me what to do per se. He's always going to say, "Put your hand on your heart," because you are your guide, right? It's
Right.
you're the source of your own universe. I'm here to guide you into being the source of your universe. Don't rely on me. Now, if you have a big question, Paul C, like, thank you. I truly appreciate that. When you're on camera, sometimes
Yeah.
your mind is like, Jake, I know who it is, but I'm on camera and it slips.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then it bothers
Exactly.
you the whole time that you're trying to talk.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
5 minutes before the end, it'll be like, oh, it's Paul Seelig. Right.
Yes.
Or 3 a.m. I'll pop up and I'll be like, Paul Seelig. That's the word. But yeah, so they're still in my frame. They're still here. We talk all the time. They're guiding me, but they're saying you're guiding yourself. I mean, when you really think about it. So what they're telling me right now is the best way to put it is we're not going to let you burn your universe to smithereens,
Yeah,
but we need to
right.
let you
Yeah.
create your universe. But obviously, if you're channeling us, this is the channel here. If you're channeling us, then there's a direction you're headed. Nonetheless, all roads lead to Rome. We're not going to let you not get there. So,
Right. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Ooh. Lucky you've been so quiet and I
yeah.
immediately jumped in. I get excited.
So, Josh, I have a question about the channeling.
Yes.
When after you channel some of these beings, how do you feel? Do you feel energized? Do you feel neutral, or do you feel waste? Do they take some of your energy away by channeling?
Not at all. If you on energetics, honestly, if you can tap in, it's free flowing. It's always coming from source, and as you are the source of your universe, right? So you sit as the spark of flame that's generating your universe. So you really are limitless in energy if you can see that. And so, no, from my end, what happens is all this energy is jacked through me, and it ends up busted in my crown chakra, right? And so, if you ever
Okay.
watch me come out of a channel on like Good Dawning, I'm like, I have all this energy like shaking in my crown chakra. What I really want to, I need to start practicing more instead of just shaking, is to just, kind of, all right, let's
Kind of
ground this
ground,
down a little bit and move it
ground.
through. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but they leave me with this like poof. It used to be more centered down here, and I would burp. I would burp like
Yeah.
insanely after and you've heard that, right? And after I channel, and I still do sometimes, but now, and it's a positive because it's not sitting down here anymore in my gut. It's sitting up here, so it's moved to my crown chakra, which is amazing, right? That's huge when you're channeling, but yeah, it's a matter of now grounding that energy down when I'm done
Yeah.
channeling.
Right. Instead of, do you feel lightheaded and whatnot
Yeah,
afterwards?
yeah, exactly. Like imagine like you've run a race, or maybe you're
Yes.
all the way or the first time you're up with 14,000 feet, or I hate to say this, if you've ever smoked a cigarette and it's like a week and you smoke one, that nicotine buzz real quick, that
Yes. Yeah.
I hate to say that, but that's kind of the feeling.
Yeah, yeah. And I had one of my teachers once, this is years and years ago. So if the audience is listening and it's like he burped, what? I had a teacher that was her thing because the body's going to react, the physical body's going to
Exactly.
react somehow. And so
Mhm.
I have a throat like a frog in the throat, let's say, that
Okay.
kind of thing. But I had a teacher who she'd be in the middle of doing stuff and then she'd just start burping and burping and
Right.
burping. Everybody's gonna have something, so I mean, you're unique in your abilities, but not so unique in how the body reacts.
Exactly. And exactly. But now that I'm attuned a little more to my body, what'll happen is if I'm
Hmm.
just like doing something, I feel energy or I feel frustrated and I start to settle it, or if I start to get like nerve, whatever the energy is, that's not just, uh, after it's settled, I'll burp. The
Hmm.
body is releasing it as well because I've got
Yeah.
that delineation between I am source, right, inside myself, and then I'm the body as well. The body is its own living entity, and I'm treating it with respect as its own living entity, and I'm actually the host within it.
Yeah.
It's like it's a symbiotic deal, but I'm inside it. But so I have to treat it with its reverence.
Okay. Chloe, drive safe. Thank you for
Yes,
listening,
Oh.
but please don't watch it. Just drive
Oh,
safe,
okay.
Chloe.
yes, Chloe, safe and favorite travels.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, and you have people on for interviews too, like Chloe. She was
Yeah,
there this morning on your channel, right?
absolutely. Yeah, we had Chloe on. Chloe sells crystals. Yeah, at Chloe's Crystals, and her prices. You ever heard? If you guys are a lot of my channels from the East Coast because they came from a different channel that's on the East Coast, and Crazy Eddie, right? So he favored a Crazy Eddie, but he had a commercial. His prices are insane, right? So go check out Chloe's. Go check out Chloe's Crystals. Her prices are insane, but it's really
That's
she's
what I
just
hear.
such a gift to all of us. She's an amazing soul and
Yes.
just such a bright and beautiful, cheery energy. And yeah, so it's always amazing
Yeah.
when we're live. And this morning we got to have an amazing conversation, and of course peruse Chloe's amazing crystals. If you want to check them out, you can go to at Chloe's Crystals, or you can go to my community page, or my live, I should say.
Yeah.
And our
Yeah.
live this morning was there, or this dawning, and I don't know what we say morning,
Exactly.
but yeah, this dawning. And
I say
you can check it out.
morning. I definitely
Yeah,
do. It's in my title.
exactly. But if you think about it, though, morning, just even though it's spelled differently, we're still saying the same word. What are we? I mean, why would they kind of conflate the two? The English language is literally it's all spells. It's nothing more than spells. And I mean, some wizard must have put the language together. I swear.
Josh, where are you originally from? Are you from Colorado originally?
No. Originally, I was born in Washington D.C. I was born in the ghetto of
Oh,
Washington D.C. No, but
wow.
I mean,
Okay.
Section 8 housing is different back in the 70s than it is now. But yeah,
Yeah, right.
I was born in
Right.
D.C. Holy Cross Hospital, and so yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I could, I pay attention to the accents. I mean, of course, Lucky's got his, and mine has changed greatly.
Yeah,
It used to be much, much more Chicago. But I could tell, and I'm thinking that doesn't really sound like Colorado to me, because they do have
no,
they have an accent.
they
Yeah.
do, but most of Colorado isn't from Colorado, so they have an accent of everywhere else.
Right.
And honestly, I'm kind of a mutt in that aspect as far as my accent goes, because I went there, been to Baltimore, I've lived in upstate New York in the Army, I've lived in Miami, I've lived in Chicago, I lived in Chicago during the Jordan era, I lived
Oh,
Cincinnati,
good
northern
times.
Kentucky. Yeah, no, when Chicago was Chicago, right, when it was awesome.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
not
amen.
Chicago now
Yeah.
is not the same Chicago as it was in
No.
1993. I will tell
Man,
you that.
I have to go there next weekend for a funeral.
Ooh,
And
favorite.
I'm dreading it. And it's gonna be northern, much more northern than I don't have to necessarily be in the city.
What's up? Where are you headed? My dad's in
Oh,
Chicago. So.
oh, really? Well, so I'm born and raised Waukegan, Illinois, up by
Yeah,
the
my dad's
Navy
in Buffalo
base.
Grove. So, yeah,
Okay, so Buffalo Grove. My husband's from that area.
there you
And
go.
so we'll be kind of in that ish area. But I'm still dreading it. And I know that sounds horrible, but I just
The
don't want to ever
energy
go
is
back.
Yeah, you just got to
Yeah.
get. It's like climbing into the soup, especially if you drive into it,
Yes.
because you got to go through all the tolls in Indiana and all that. But it's like climbing into the soup, and so yeah, you
Yes.
don't
The
go into
energy is
Chicago.
so
You wear
different.
Chicago. You like wear it.
Yes.
You don't live there. Right.
Yes. Amen. Thank you. So anybody who's listening, and I've been mentioning how much I'm just not looking forward to it, it's because of that. What you just said, Josh, of like, yeah, it's so heavy and it's just so
Mhm.
foreign. I haven't lived there in 10 years. It's so foreign to me now that it's like, oh, good. Yeah. Anyways, Lucky, Massachusetts. Does
Yeah,
Massachusetts have heavy energy like that, Lucky? Because it's very prevalent in Chicagoland. Like you just feel it.
Mhm.
it depends where you are. It's a liberal state, but it's got strong conservative. It's an eclectic state depending where you go. It's Massachusetts Boston is what everyone thinks about and sees, but
Right.
there's more to Massachusetts than Boston. But Boston is predominantly what you know about Massachusetts is Boston.
Yeah.
You get outside of it, things change.
Wow.
People are different.
So, Josh, okay,
Yes.
you just mentioned you were born, in DC, projects of there, or I should say housing, but then you did the military for a moment in time, you mentioned.
Mhm.
So, were you always kind of on a mystical side, or was this, a dark night of the soul that went, hey, you're bigger and brighter than you think you are, friend? Like, what kind of led into this?
Okay, that's a good question, Matt. I will answer that here in a moment. But yeah, so from my end, I knew when I was 5. This is crazy. When I was 5, I was telling people that going to work and maybe going to work and retiring and all that won't be the biggest deal, right?
Mm,
That like everything, I was telling people all of this is going to change. and I'm 5 years old. And I'm like 5, telling people going to church that no, don't worship. It's not about bowing to you are Jesus, right? You are, and I'm telling people at 5 years old, but I don't. You can say it, but there's nothing. And I knew it intrinsically, but I didn't have that feeling right at all.
Right.
And then,
Right.
woo, down the line. And so I'm in the army, right, and actually getting ready to leave the army. And this is when Conversations with God came out. And so that
Oh, okay.
right. And so I'm watching we don't watch these things anymore, but Good Morning America, right? So back in the day when we watched TV, I was watching Good Morning America, and so they had Neil Donald Walsh on, and I'm like, all right, wait a minute, I know that we're Source, just walking on Earth, and I by that point, people say, "What's your religion?" I say, "There is no religion. I'm just God walking around, so God can experience God, Earth, the real, the Earth, whatever." And if I
Yeah.
realize I'm God, then God actualizes Himself, right? So I actualize, God actualizes, but it's all one, anyways. And so and I would say that, but I still didn't have a lot of feeling behind it, but I knew, like intrinsic, I could tell you without an absolute, you are God, you are Source, you are
Right.
walking around as
Right.
Source. But I didn't have anything behind it. So I read
Right.
Conversations with God. And you could say that might have been the spark, but I had a lot of
Okay.
karmic stuff to go through first. But I
Mm.
already had the spark, but that was the jet, the engine to start pushing things forward. So I had to go through
Okay.
a lot of
Cool.
karmic stuff first, outside of like karmic parents and all the stuff that 3D we have to kind of destroy ourselves in 3D first to wake up. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so many years later, about 8 years ago now is when I hit my dark night of the soul.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm tracking. I'm tracking totally, Josh. So, what's this question Matt's got? Lucky, can you see that?
When you channel, do they take over or do they speak through you? They speak through me. Literally, I here. If you guys don't mind, I'll do a quick channeling just so people can see. All right. So I do this just to kind of clear the energy in front of me, and bring in, and that's about all I do. Seems to me. All right, we are channeling. Welcome. We are channeling through Josh. Far you to you today. We are Saint Germain. No more Archangel Raphael. He is on his own. We are going to leave him up in the ether. We are channeling far you to you today through Josh. Lucky, we are grateful you are here in Cortney. Thank you for being. The questions have been gracious and amazing. We are grateful for you. So we are channeling through Josh, and when it is channeling through Josh, Josh is there. He can think his own thoughts. He can actually have a party in his own head. But Saint Germain is moving right through him. He has given himself, but he is still there, right? It is like Josh moves to the back and Saint Germain comes in, but Josh knows he's Josh, right? And so we are channeling through him directly. The energy is coming down through his crown chakra and speaking right out to you, for you, through Josh. So he is vibrating myself, Saint Germain. It is coming through. And if he closes his eyes, he is seeing purple and he is feeling, you could feel the violet flame, all of that. And he is channeling me directly. There is no delay. There is no thought and action, anything. It is literally speak and say, as it's coming through like, to you, like anybody else is talking. They don't know. They are just talking, right? But Josh can feel this, though. If we slow down a moment, he can feel it down here in his lower chakras, right? If his sacral chakra was totally busted, he could not channel with me, right? Because he has to have that open, his root and sacral chakras. And then he is pulling the energy, and then it piles up in his crown chakra, and he is channeling. That's why we are seeing him when he is done. He will shake his head, right? To shake out the energy, but we will teach him how to push it back down and maybe release some of that and move it through his body. But right now, he is just shaking it out. But it is better than seeing him to burp, right? He would burp at the end of a channeling otherwise. But we are grateful. If you have any questions, you can ask Saint Germain. But otherwise, we are going to bring Josh back, and then we could drop back in at any time. But we are grateful for you, and we thank you, Lucky. We thank you, Cortney. We thank you as well. And of course, all of you out there, you are the source that you are looking for. Remember, you are your own energetics, and you create your own universe through yourself, right? Everything you say, do, and vibrate is what you see on the outside through your real eyes. I love you, Saint Germain. Releasing transmission. Ugh. You see, now I got this energy in my head, and I shake it out. Ugh, there it is. And so that's why you see me do this or that. Now I'm pushing it back down through my. There we go. And now I'm back centered.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
so You have said it now, Josh, a million times, so I gotta really actually explore this with you. That we are creating our own universe. Do
Yeah,
you mean an individual universe or a whole, like a
both.
collective universe?
It's
Because
both.
okay, can you talk about that with people? Because Saint Germain just said it too. So can you
Sure.
explain that for folks?
Absolutely. You are your own source. So you are, and I put out a short on that, that you're the spark of your our video on
I
that the other
saw
day.
that.
Thank,
Yes.
thank you. You are the spark of your own energetics. So you, as yourself, are vibrating energetic of source. We're all basically our own energetic toroidal field. Standing, so we're all spinning energy, right? Each one of
Mm,
us. 6 feet. I'm gonna leave it at that because we're all energy, right? And so, and we spin and we create and we touch each other as we walk around. Our energy's
right.
spinning or spinning like in the corkscrew and touching each right and reaching out to each other as we walk through. And so that's the greater source field is how we all together then through what you're creating in your universe, Courtney, and what Lucky is
Yeah.
creating in his universe and what Penny
Yeah.
or whomever else out there, Chloe driving in her universe with her crystals or Millie, anybody out there in the chat or Matt, what he's creating in his universe together in conglomeration and one bigger energy is what we see as the greater source field as Earth in general. And so unfortunately, we are at that stage on planet Earth where we are learning to create our own energy, take back from those who would otherwise manipulate and grab our energy. And that's where humanity's at right now. And standing into our own frames as our own source, not relying on anybody else to create for us. And we stand in our own as source, waking up to our own 33 right master creator. No,
Yeah.
poof, and rising up into our own, we have the same energies. We're source, right? We're God. So we create our own, we create the universe is what we see on planet Earth. We're not creating planets and stuff, but yet we are. Together, we're creating this planet.
Yeah. Oh,
I
awesome.
got
Go
I
ahead.
got a question.
Yeah.
So all these beings that you channel, do they come to you and you ask their name before they come in, or do you just
So,
channel as they come?
no, during Good Dawning, for example, I will throw out there, whom do you want me to channel at times?
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
I can say, okay, Isis. She's like, yeah, well, you want, let's go. Or White Buffalo Catwoman, and I can see her, I can feel it, let's go. Or Kuan Yin, I channel, which not that often, but I do channel
Yeah.
Kuan Yin, for example, and she'll come in and be like, yeah, let's go. So it's really, sometimes there are times though where they'll prod me. Like we did a clearing the other day, and so Isis wanted to come in and do an energetic clearing, and she'll come through. She'll be like, "No, it's me." I'll be like, "All right, we're going to do a channeling. Isis is coming through, and here we go." And so I get the energy, like that energetic. Hey, do channel me. I want to do the clearing and what have you. And so I get that intuitive hit, and so I just drop it and I'm like, all right, we're going to channel Isis here and do this clearing. I'm not going to do the invocation. We'll let Isis do it for us.
But I still need a little bit of clarity for this
Yeah.
because so you ask the beings to come to you. You give their name and they come to you.
Exactly. Or conversely, they'll knock on my door and say, "Hey, I want to channel." It
But
goes
you
both
know
ways.
who they are
Yes, without
before you
question.
channel them. You know who they are. There's
Yes.
this thing about let's just say let's just open the door. An evil entity walks up to you, but you'll know that and you'll just send it
Mhm.
away. Or are you already
It
protected
doesn't
where they
happen.
can't even get in?
It's
Okay,
it's not even going to happen. I mean, I'm channeling Isis, Archangel Raphael. I do have Archangel Michael, whom I can travel. It's not going to happen. They're not allowing that to happen. I'm an
because they're
emissary
already
for
around you.
them, right?
You've got
Because
the
I'm
guards around you. But I just want to put
yeah.
clarity for. Remember, I want this show to be for novices who don't quite
Okay.
understand what you're talking about. So I need to give the ground rules
So
to say, well, this guy could
basically,
channel anything.
yeah, no, I can't. Basically, Archangel Raphael, Saint Germain, Goddess Isis, Kuan Yin, Sekhmet, White Buffalo, Catwoman, and this will explain it in a lot of ways here, and Archangel Michael. When I came into my awakening, there's different ways you can have an awakening, right? And so for myself, outside of the YouTube, what you would want to call maybe the YouTube awakening, where watching YouTube and it kind of triggers stuff. I had these descended masters that came into my universe. So there was one day where I'm like literally like nothing, and then the next day Archangel Raphael tapping me on the shoulder, and then Archangel Michael showing up, And then, Uriel, Gabrielle, I've got a Metatron on my wall. So they came into my frame, and then I started seeing purple and green, and Saint Germain then came, so they came into and so I started communicating with them. I'm like, all right, hi, not Isis, but first it was Archangel Raphael and my Archangel Michael, and I'm just talking out loud. Hi Michael, how you doing? Good morning, good dawning, Michael. Archangel Raphael, thank you for healing today. And I'm literally just thank you guys, family. I have dragons in my field, so I'm like, hi dragons, thank you. And so I just call it to talk out loud, man. I just literally, because I live alone, so I just talk to my guys, like, hi, how are you? And so after 2 years of communicating, out loud, they finally came through and started literally. That was when Archangel or Saint Germain came through with Archangel Raphael, and I recognized the energy from Raphael. I didn't recognize Saint Germain for a minute, but then they came through. He just literally I got a channel, and I just started talking like I was just in frequency. So for myself, if I want a channel, I can call on them. They're always in my field because as an open channel, I didn't send them away. I haven't said to them, please leave and come back when I'm ready to channel. I just said, stick around, we'll channel whenever. And so if I'm at work, I work at a crystal shop, instantly, if somebody we're talking and they start, spiritually, I can just start channeling right there in front of, with them, and what have you. Otherwise, if I'm doing something like I'm going to do a clearing on Good Dawning, or I want to do an invocation to remove, anything ugly we've said to somebody, any nasty words that we've said. So I want to do a clearing on that and recall those energies. Then I might have somebody like Archangel Raphael to heal that, right? To come in and do that clearing for me. So I'll feel in my energy, all right, I'm not going to do it myself. Archangel Raphael is coming through and wants to do that clearing for the group. And so it goes both ways. It goes both ways. So I'll feel it. I'll get the green. I'll feel it. I'll just know. I know the difference in the vibration of each of them, if that makes sense. So I'll get that vibration where it's like, oh, wait, that's Archangel Raphael. Wait, and I'll hear it because they'll channel to me. I want to go. I'm doing this, and it's like, okay, it's yours. And I step aside. I just bring them in the channel, and so here we go.
Right. So then, if there's also something foreign by any happenstance, you would know because of the frequencies.
Mm-hmm. There isn't anything fun.
Yeah.
Isis is coming through right now. Dearie, it's not going to happen. That's Isis. That's literally, if you know my Isis, that's Isis. Right. She's not good. They're not going to let that happen because they don't want to. They're not going to let the channel get. They're not going to. We are not going to let this channel get tainted. There is no way in heck that we want to burn up this channel by letting somebody else. So we have lots of guards, right? Archangel Michael is standing there running guard, right? And Gabrielle and Uriel is just did not channel them. Others channel them, but they are running protection too. We are not going to allow for any other entities to enter into his auric field in channeling. If he wants to get karmic in his universe, that's up to him. But we are not going to break his channeling by allowing other entities to come through. They know that he's got the grand guards there, and that's not going to happen. All right, I'm back.
Awesome. And one last strange thing. We walk around the world normal days, and there are negative entities all around. Do you see them? Although they can't come close to you. Do you see them, and do they react to you at all, or do they just stay away from you completely?
I don't see them. What I notice, though, is people who will scamper away from my energy field or give me dirty looks.
You mean people with attachments? The people might potentially might have an attachment of a negative entity.
Exactly.
They tend to give you a wide berth.
Exactly, or a dirty look, or what have you. I'm what's called a gray. There's a lot of us out there who aren't just white or black. We're gray agents, right? So we play. I play in my life, but I also acknowledge my darkness and marry the two. So, and I'm also a living change agent. A lot of us. I'm a 5, life path 5, so I'm a living change agent as well. So I create wherever I go in my universe. I create change. I work for a dental office. All the dentists quit. I work for a pizza joint. They sold the building. I work for Radio Shack. They're out of business. I could go on. And I could go on for I work for Humana Health Insurance. My job went to Philippines, and the building that I was in has disappeared, and nobody's working for Humana in my department anymore. I work for you name it. And I could keep going. And that's my entire universe, because I'm a life path 5. We bring change. And so, and also we teach as well. We teach.
I totally need to learn that stuff, or at least Google it, I guess. I don't know much about the life path number stuff. I really don't. That's what life path 5 is they bring change.
They bring change. It's also about travel and teaching, but mostly it's,
Wow.
you live that change, and it's about changing in you, right? It's about seeing that change in your universe. 5, or life path 9,
Yeah,
which is like a
okay.
cycle change. 5 is just sudden change, where you go from sleep to waking up. 9 is where you have like mastery. Like if you're life path 9, you could end up as like a mastery 9, or in a life path 11, which is another good one.
Right.
But
Okay. Josh, well then I gotta ask a question then too. Not so much of like
yeah.
any negative entities, but so you live alone, but yet
Hmm.
at any time you know that you're not alone, right?
Oh, of course.
Like that they're around and you can talk to. Does it, this is going to sound horrible.
No, not at
Does it
all.
kind of bother you? Like, do you want some alone time? Do you want
No,
some
no, none at
space?
all. No, no. I've been alone long
I
enough.
so
I'm
crave
grateful to have been.
it.
No, no. I've
Okay,
been alone.
gotcha.
I've been in
Okay.
my dark night for years. I mean, we were talking. I had
Okay.
7 years solid in my dark night of the soul. So that's 7 years. Generally, I was like hermit mode. Right, I was the hermit card for like 7 years.
Yes.
And so
Okay.
no, they communicate with
Okay.
me. They'll bang on my fridge. I'll get a big ding on my fridge. I've got a kettle, a water kettle, and with a little switch
Mm-hmm.
on it. But even if it's flipped up, out of the blue, I'll hear the spring activate on the switch. Like, what the heck? And so I'm like, thank you. And I just shout out loud. I'll see a light flicker. They get really loud with my heater. I have like a little oil
Yeah.
heater
Yeah.
building for the draft. And so it'll make clicking noises, overly clicking. I'm like, all right, I got you. But I'm really good with numbers too. I communicate a lot with my guides with numbers. Like we do numbers all the time.
Okay. Okay.
I'll get
I
intuitive hits to look at numbers
yeah.
and
I was curious because I'm the opposite. Like if I'm gonna channel or communicate or do an akashic, I do my thing, I make it happen, and then I'm done, and everything shuts down. And my house is also on lockdown. Like nothing can enter my house without asking me first. Like nothing is ever. My house is actually very serene, you know.
nice.
So,
Mhm.
but that's for me because I could not, I grew up with guides just always around and all sorts of entities around and everything around. So I'm always asking that question because sometimes it's like, do you want it or do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? But you
It's
seem
just
to enjoy
integrated in
it.
me now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's part
Okay.
because I never sent them away. It just integrated, and so it's like but they're not always there. It's not. I mean, if I want to channel Saint Germain, it's like the way I kind of think of it is, if you remember in the Karate Kid where they're going down the hill in the station wagon and they have to pop the clutch to get the
Yeah,
car moving.
yeah,
That's all I
yeah.
got to do is just pop the clutch, just start moving the
Gotcha.
moving the
Yeah,
gears, and it'll drop in the channel. So I want to channel, and I just
yeah.
start doing
Right,
so, and they're right
right.
there. Light moves at the speed of light, right? So they're just instant. They're always there. It's just
Yeah.
instantaneous. But they
Has
never leave. But they're not making themselves known, if that makes
right.
any sense. So
Yes,
I don't
right.
feel anything. I know that I know that they're there. But no, in any aspect, I don't feel anything. I don't act any differently or anything of the sort. I just know that if I want to channel or if I start, talking out loud, then I'll hear like a bang on the coffee, on the water kettle
Yes,
or the fridge or
right.
something.
Okay. Okay. Has this changed your career in a way then? Or the
Yeah.
work that you do? I mean,
Yes.
what is this outside of YouTube, I guess is what I'm asking.
Right now, I do offer one-on-one energetic attunement sessions with everybody that I channel, and I'm also a natural. This is where I see. This is going to sound weird, but it may make sense. I see threads. I can easily just discuss with you what's going on, and then psychologically see into like what's going on, like oh this that, and put the threads together, and
Mm-hmm.
like I can give you a year's worth of therapy in like 20 in an hour with Saint Germain and myself. It's just what I do naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a Hyoka empath and a Life Path 5. It's just I can see I've learned that these are my gifts. And I've started getting clairvoyance too, so I use that as well to see into other people's universes. If I'm doing like a one-on-one session, and like okay, so what's going on? They'll tell me, and then it's like all right, so this and this, and then I do channel, and then we also do. I'm going to say energetic work as well, with the guides with Saint Germain and Raphael, and healing with Raphael, and violet flame work with Saint Germain. So I do those sessions right now. Otherwise, I work at a crystal shop part-time and DoorDash in between. I'm looking for all of this to become bigger. And eventually one of my goals is
Yeah.
to learn, because it was so important to my growth and my
Yeah.
is running past life regression session, to learn to facilitate past life regression sessions.
Okay.
So if anybody out
Okay.
there,
Excellent.
help me with that.
Yeah. Excellent. Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
we'll
if
have
I
to maybe
tie
talk
that all
backstage,
together,
Josh.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I really want to tie all that together with the past life regression, and then being able to channel in, okay, this is where the threads are through the God, Saint Germain and Raphael and whatnot. And then what I can do as well, and kind of see from your past life to now and help you to put those threads together. It took me 3 years from my past life, 2.5, from my past life regression session, have it all come together and go, okay, I'm living in an abandonment cycle. And this is exactly what, and now I can and help to accelerate that for people and kind of bring all that healing together, because the goal is that nobody has to spend 7 years night and day in the dark night of the soul. And nobody has to
Yeah,
do that.
no,
Not
no, they
anymore.
don't. And
We can guide
I
you out of it.
think what I hear you say is that when you do like past life regressions, just gaining that awareness of the cycles you might live or the themes. I use the word themes because I was an English teacher. So, like, just having the awareness then kind of
Mm-hmm.
empowers you to, you can also change this. You can break
Exactly.
this. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like when I had my session, I was abandoned by my mom. So 8 lifetimes. This is the 8th lifetime. So 7 lifetimes ago, I was abandoned by, and it's like a movie. So I can see the woman in the green, and that's my mom, and the hair, and she's, here you go, to this guy with a kilt and a big sword, and it's like forever ago, and the
Yeah.
grass and the horse, and so yeah, and so 8 lifetimes, and there I go, and so that is my core trauma right then and there.
Right.
It's like a movie in
Right.
my head, and
Yep.
so then what they what they did for me was give me 2 other lifetimes, my 2 past lifetimes, to show how that trauma has been and then for myself, gratefully, a lot of those empty spaces, the other lifetimes have filled in on their own.
Yeah, definitely. So Matt is saying that he calls what you were just explaining an intuitive interpreter. I like that, Matt.
I
You
like
know,
that, man.
Lucky, we should have Matt on the channel. And Matt's, I think, still out in Colorado somewhere as well. So maybe we'll just have to have a whole lot of Colorado people
There we
interviewed
go.
soon. Yeah.
That would
What
be
are you
fun.
thinking? Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, you and Matt, I think, would have a lot of a lot of similar things.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
definitely that,
the most of us in
that,
Colorado are generally the same area. I'm in Boulder County, so there's not too many
wow.
people on the other side of the mountains or in the mountains for sure.
Well,
Right, right.
but not much oxygen up there. It's a very thin. It's one of the thinnest
You
air
know,
cities.
you can move to Leadville. It's the highest like real city at 10,500 feet. But
Oh,
then yet you got to get used to it. It's just about, I'm at
Yeah.
5,000 feet, and like my dad will come out and he can't walk but 5 feet, and but you just get used to it. And after a while, what's
wow.
weird is when you come down from it's more when you come down from the mountain. It's like you don't know that you've been kind of labored breathing, sort of, just
Yes.
there. But then it's like, well, I can breathe so much easier. Wait, what's going on? But yeah, or if you go up to the top of like Pikes Peak, where it's like 14,000 feet, and then you're up there. But even at that, as long as you're climbing to 5,000, it's easy. But yeah, if you just went straight to Leadville and hung out, it would be you'd have about a day or two. They sell these little
Yes.
cans like this big, like with like a little face thing on it for full of oxygen. You can like spray it and like take it. Yeah, it's
No
great.
way.
Yeah,
Really?
and you can rent and they you can rent a bubbler, like an oxygen thing up here if you have too much issues without a prescription.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I used to hike, mountains. I've never been to Colorado. I have to say I've never once even driven through the state, I don't think.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I hear that. I have a lot of family friends that have all been, and still some are. But I used to hike a lot in Oregon, and even
Okay.
the mountains out there and whatnot, and like Mount Hood. And
Mhm.
I don't know if I could do that in my older years, though. Like I was a
Well,
teenager doing that
to give you an
stuff.
idea, I'm 30 minutes from Rocky Mountain National Park without
Oh,
traffic.
okay.
With traffic, I'm
Okay.
on a good Saturday dawning. In July, I'm 3 hours from Rocky Mountain National Park. But otherwise,
Good.
right,
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's how that goes.
exactly.
Well,
That's we get up down here. Us who live here, we get up before the sun rises, and we go up to the park, and then we just get in before that. But yeah.
Yes, yes. So, Josh, what are you thinking you would love to manifest for yourself, like in 2025? Because your channel's kind of new-ish.
Mhm.
You know, it's kind of a baby new channel, same as a lot of ours, but yours is more new. And just everything. What would you love? Have you been thinking about it? What would you
Yeah.
love to manifest for yourself, for your
Uh,
universe that's gonna touch
some of
other
that you don't want to state,
universes?
obviously, because there's. I'm going to state that recently somebody has been following my channel, and so we're going to be careful on what we say here. And I'll leave it at that. And so I don't know if they're watching this, but so I don't want to put anything out to somebody karmically. I've got a few karmic family members that have picked up on and started watching, and so I'm not really careful per se, but I don't throw out. The big thing I'll state is this: I would love to see start channeling in public, to do public
Okay.
channeling, to
Okay.
maybe even do like public, get people up on stage and do some energy work and whatnot. And I can I can walk in channel, I'm not going to drive in channel, but I've done it.
No.
I've talked to Saint Germain while I'm driving. Let's put it that way. But I've talked to Saint Germain while I'm driving. But I can cook in channel, whatever, eat, what have you. So it's not like if you've seen Bashar, he walks back and forth on stage,
Right.
but his eyes are closed because he only walks sideways. But my eyes are wide open as an open channel. He's like semi-trance. You call him like a half trance, and so as a full open channel, then yeah, I can just channel, talk, look at the audience, talk to people directly. And so that's the ultimate goal, is to get out there and really to get it into the public and start and then eventually, how it goes with any of these channeling things. There could be documents, papers and things that come out with bindings.
Yeah.
I don't want to,
Yes.
you get it, binded
Yeah.
paper. We'll leave it at that.
Right.
That could come out
Yes.
at some point. And I've started thinking about and collecting other YouTubers who have put classes together and seeing how they're putting their, collecting videos on what their classes are and what they're discussing and things like that, so that I'm not there yet. But when I start to put classes together and whatnot, how to channel and whatnot. Right now, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. And they're like, you're not ready for that anyways. But
Right.
but
Right.
eventually, they're like, eventually you'll be doing those things too. So it's just a matter of,
Excellent.
it's as they keep telling me, slow and steady wins the race.
Yes. Yeah.
It hasn't been this meteoric rise. It's those who are coming to the channel are those who are who are in their dark night or climbing out of their dark night, and it can relate also, and some are even totally out of the dark night. It's just wanting to build their universe and build, wanting to build our universe, and together we're building that on the channel as well. We're talking about helping others. We're doing manifestation work for each other, and it's really about creating that family where if I'm lifted up, we're all lifted. And if you're lifted up, then we're all lifting each other up, and that's really what it's all about. I didn't have
Excellent.
that support. I didn't have anything for 7 years.
Yeah.
Somebody would grab me in the chat and say hello. I was like, whoa, wow, like really, and it was a totally struggling alone, and so I don't want anybody in any aspect to ever have to go through that. So eventually, a website. We do have a Discord, and whatnot, and a website, and so I can see my wares and people can hang out. But the goal is that you don't have to do this alone, and you don't have to take 7 years to do it. You can get through the
Right.
dark night. You can get through the dark night and really fast if you understand what you're releasing and understand the energetics of it.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
But
Wow.
also, it's not too late. Doesn't have to take 7 years, but again, you can start today, even if you're later in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anybody
Yeah.
can join. Anybody, if you're feeling any which way off sorts, and you're starting to see your past and things are starting to, it'll happen. You can't control it. It's like you hit this natural switch like a train hits a switch and it goes to another track automatically. It's the same deal in our universe. We hit that switch. We can't control it. All of a sudden, we're sitting down with pen and paper and not even realizing it. We're sitting down with the YouTube videos and going, yesterday I was watching this. Today I'm refocused. It just happens. And so if that starts happening to you, just ride with it. If you start pondering your past, which is generally how it'll come up first, you start thinking about, was I this or that, and am I that? It's never exactly, Andrew. It's never too late, whether you're 70, 100, or in my case 51.
Right.
It's never too late. And a lot of us, most of us who are waking up in that manner, don't wake up until at least 45 or later. In a lot of
Yes.
cases,
Right.
there's like some
Right.
natural switch where we're in our mid 40s is literally. And I just seen that in the collective where we,
Yes.
if we're
Yeah.
coming, if we're in this first phase. Now, a lot of, and when we're the way showers, so we are the ones doing the heavier energetic work so that it's lighter for those behind us. We're the
Right.
strongest of the ones in the front row, so to speak, are the strongest. We got the biggest neck to look up at the screen, right? So we're the strongest ones to pull everybody else. We're like the tug of, we're pulling the universe behind us.
Right.
And we're the way showers. And so, yeah, so we have to carry that.
That's exactly, Josh, why I am trying to make that August 5th is Hug a Giant Day. There's the Giants there's a day for everything,
Sure.
everything that's ever been created, except giants. And that's exactly what you're talking about. The people
Like,
that are willing to put themselves out there and pull the universe and help them and all of that. So I'm trying to create Hug a Giant Day on August 5th. Every year, August 5th, Hug a Giant. There's somebody out there that's a giant to you that helped you that, you know, because they need they need to have some appreciation as well.
absolutely. I think that's an amazing idea. There's somebody, everybody has somebody, and gratefully I do as well. We all have
Yeah.
somebody in our universe that you can turn to. Even when I was in my darkest of nights, I had a friend that I met on Facebook. We don't, she's married now and whatnot, but we were able to communicate and watch videos. And it's, if you don't have any of that, then come to my channel. I have a Discord.
Yes.
You're not, between Good Dawning and then we watch, the family, all of us are watching other videos together, and we're kind of carrying each other, so to speak, through each day. We meet up multiple times, and we're all kind of a family where it's like we can reach into each other and really be like, are you doing okay? How's your universe? And we're all kind of
Yeah.
lifting each other up, and it's really amazing.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Well, thank you, Josh. This has been lovely. Don't you think so, Lucky?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, there's so much to consider.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh, we'll have to have you back. I mean, Lucky, I'm totally
Absolutely.
taking over. Get
Yeah,
in
it
there,
was great to
buddy.
talk with you, Lucky.
It's not over yet. We're only at 50 minutes.
Oh,
We got
okay.
plenty of
Well,
time.
Yeah,
I know that
No,
you're going to
stop
be on
wrapping it up.
Roberts. You're going to be on Roberts tonight, right?
And that's
Yes.
I still have an hour.
You have an hour.
I have an
Yes.
hour. It's
there we go.
no rush. See, life is not about rushing. Life's about living in the moment.
Exactly. I had to learn that lesson when I started channeling. It's like you start a YouTube channel and you start channeling. It's like, all right, so where's the just reward, right? I'm doing what you ask. And then it's not about any of that. It's about slowing down and helping others. But it took a minute to get into that lesson.
Yeah.
To get into that and really see it for what it really is, instead of like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
channeling. All right, this is awesome. I'm going to be I'm not going to be anything. I'm going to be helpful to others. I'm going to be
And not worry about it. Like,
Exactly.
not worry about all the extras. Yeah.
Exactly. If you've got a YouTube channel, just let it go. Just trust and just let go.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Well, there's also the time when you have to accept help from others, which is almost impossible for me. But a lot of us who help others forget that we can receive help from others too, and it can be tough to do that.
Gratefully, I've got a few contacts that we reach out, and I'm grateful to accept any help at this point. If you want to tell me I'm karmic or I'm doing something or what have you, please tell me. Anybody out there, grateful, because you know what? I can't mirror myself, right? What I mirror for myself, I can't see. It doesn't work. You can't stand in front of a mirror and see your own flaws. Generally, you can when they come and hit you in the head, but otherwise you just can't see. You don't always see them. And so having somebody mirrors like that, having people in our universe is important. And a lot of that we do on the channel, hey, are you doing okay? Lifting each other up in the chats and whatnot, and making sure. And if somebody's not doing well, they'll put it in the chat. We'll lift them up. We'll help them. And nobody yet has needed any money, but I'm always willing to set up a GoFundMe. That's what it's all about. And having that, knowing that I didn't have any of this when I was in my darkness. I just said me. And that was it. And so knowing that there's a group and that you can go there and that you are accepted and that you are loved and that, you are not out of space. You are where you're, is amazing. And so that's what I tried to build on my channel is that space.
Josh, on your channel too, you pull cards, don't you?
I do
I've
oracle
seen.
cards.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, are you channeling while you do the oracle? I guess I never paid attention enough to, which is rude of me to say, but are you channeling and
No.
doing the oracle cards? You're just doing the oracle cards.
Um, oh, we love you too, Chloe. Oh, you're amazing. What we do is I'm not really channeling, but the energy is still flowing through me. I'm just
Okay.
open to okay, whatever you guys need for either myself. Generally, it's for the collective to know. Please put it through, and I just cut the cards and do what I do. I do use, and I received a deck from actually somebody on the channel. Blindly, her name's Blindly Inspired. She's won a deck off of another channel from Archangel Raphael Kelly Cortney, and so she channels Archangel Raphael. And I had seen that she was offering the deck and whatnot, and I had purchased it. And next thing I know, it's showing up at my door. She had
Oh,
yeah, so
cool.
she won it, and so yeah, so I will say that that's a special deck because it was channeled by Kelly, who is a been channeling Raphael for like 30 years,
Yeah.
and so exactly, so she's an OG, she's really an OG channeler, and so she's yes, old school, amazing, and so to have that, and then yeah, Raphael will come through when I use those cards for sure, but otherwise,
Okay.
I don't know who's really coming. It's just I'm just trusting the energies and laying it, just like
Yeah.
any other.
When the card is pulled. Okay, I get
Mhm.
it. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have a whole bunch of cards. Behind this thing is a whole bunch of Egyptian cards, which is,
Just yeah.
but I want to change the background, and now I'm like, oh my God, I could have showed off the cards if I just took the background down. But you know what? Live in the moment. Live in the moment.
Exactly.
That's
And
okay
also,
because you're
your
inviting everybody to kiss you because you're Irish. So you're getting festive on the other side.
Nice.
oh yeah, that is yeah, great, yeah, wonderful. Um,
Yeah, that's almost St. Patrick's Day.
It
Crazy.
is.
well, that's the fun thing about the cards came to you. Cards that are given as a gift are always more powerful. It's just one of
Hmm.
those things. I mean, although all my cards that I've gotten, I bought, but you received those as a gift, which
Correct.
it infuses more energy into it. I mean, we all would love something
Absolutely.
like that. You've got a wonderful gift, and it's kind of elevates the power the cards have. And although cards are just a tool, they're an important tool in life. That's just one of the things, you
Yeah.
know.
And I
And
find people like the visual, don't they?
Absolutely. Now I do
Yeah.
channel Archangel. I do channel Goddess Isis and Kuan Yin, and I'll do either one. Just really depends on time. They're not picky anymore. As long as generally I do 5 or 6 a week. I'll forget a day, but I do Kuan Yin and Isis as well. And so those are their message to the collective directly through those cards.
yeah, I mean, Isis is a special one, and she isn't kind of parallel to Mother Mary, who, as a Catholic, I've always had a thing about Mother Mary, you know, and that was one of
Oh
the
yeah.
things is it was Catholics. The funny thing about Catholics about how women are treated poorly, but also elevated depending on which family it is. You know, the Italians, the mothers ruled the roost, but
Hmm.
sometimes women were treated terribly. We live in a dynamic and a very contradictory life, you know. But I mean, I actually still have several Mother Mary in my house, and to my wife, it's just normal.
Hmm.
Like Lakshmi, the Thai. My wife is Thai. Lakshmi is an Indian goddess,
Yeah, I
and
love
the
I
Thai calls
love
something
watching.
different. And my wife actually has a Lakshmi
Mhm.
statue that someone gave to me that my wife treats her respectfully.
Oh,
And that
lovely.
statue is sacred. That statue is. We have a few statues in our house that could be judged as haunted. I call them sacred because they do some own little things that normally I wouldn't be anything. Statue is just a statue, but they're treated respectfully, and it's one of those things. But again, there's something about that mother motif in every religion that really is a place to go when you're at your end and you
Mhm.
go, can I have some help? Because mother will always help you. Father will always protect you, but mother is always in the heart. It's but maybe I digress a little bit, but I have a thing for Isis, but it's one of those things where am I just comparing her to Mother Mary and not letting her be Isis? It's
Mm.
my mind. I overanalyze everything.
Every time I see Mother Mary, I just call her, "Hi, Mom." I'm literally, it's just like, I walked up, I was doing a DoorDash the other, and there's the Mother Mary at the front door. I just tapped her, and "Hi, Mom," and I treat, because even Mother Mary, I'm not going to go into my mother, but at any rate, I've leaned into Mother Mary when there's no mom in the universe, and we'll leave it at that, because Mother Mary's the mom to everybody who needs a mom at any time. So
yeah, that's how I teach my moon manifesting course, is I really try to start people there of just communicate with the moon, and if you need a replacement mother, she's perfect.
We might have to talk about that course, because as a Cancer and moon, I might have to talk about
it's an extensive class. You can ask Lucky. He's like, "Geez, Cortney."
Actually, I have a funny story about Mother Mary. I had a dog that was just genuinely loved this dog, and when we buried him, I lived on a farm, so it was okay. You can bury animals on the farm. I put a Mother Mary statue on his gravesite. And I put flowers around, and I really treated it really well. It was like a little garden around it. And when I moved out, my mother asked me, "Are you going to bring Mother Mary to your new house?" And I'm like, "No, she belongs here." I mean, that's the dog, that's where his, and still, my mother she doesn't do anything to that site, and it's still, the flowers come up every year. They're supposed to be just with annuals. They're supposed to die off, but I guess the seeds. I mean, it's just that spot is always just there and everything. And my mother's like, I was gonna move it to a better place, but I decided I can't. I mean, it's just and it's actually in the back near the woods, with a river. It's an isolated location, but it's a beautiful spot. And I'm like, it's a serene spot. I mean, it's just a go-to when you need some time, which is what I used to do. But yeah, I do believe the power in Mother Mary. No matter what religion you have, you always have the mother motif, and it's there for all of us. And even if you can even be not agnostic, but atheist. You can be an atheist, and you can still have a thing about respecting the mother energies.
Yeah,
I
agree.
To go back to your Lakshmi there, I do divination. I'll walk around the crystal shop, and I'll do divination to Ganesh first, and then I'll do divination to Lakshmi too.
Yeah. Ganesh. Yeah, my wife calls him Parla Palm, which is a Thai name for Ganesh, and we have a Ganesh statue, which that's another one that don't move it, because it'll just move back to what it was. Because my wife will sometimes turn it so he goes the right direction, because he's supposed to face, I don't know, perfectly north. So she moves him, but he wants to be straight off to what north, and she said, "Stop moving him." I'm like, "Honey, I'm not moving him. You should probably stop doing it too." Maybe it's the cat. I'm like, the cats won't go up on that shelf. Then she realized, oh, he must like it that way. I'm like, I think your compass might be off, and let him be on his compass.
There you go.
It's lovely that you gentlemen are talking about the feminine goddesses and the feminine energy. It is appreciated. Us women, because I am a woman, when we hear men talk sincerely about feminine energy so openly and honestly, and appreciative of it, it is nice. So I do want to say, I guess maybe I'm talking on behalf of the women out there that might be listening. It is nice when we hear that, because oftentimes we hear a whole lot of other stuff, guys. So it is nice to hear that, that aspect that lives within all of us. But maybe if you're in the feminine form, it's a little bit more presented. It is nice to hear. So I just want to speak on all women that we appreciate it. We appreciate when men will say they care and tend to the goddess. We appreciate it.
Well, for myself, thank you, Cortney. For myself, I was raised by a karmic broken divine feminine, and my dad was not in frame at all in any aspect. He couldn't even teach me how to throw a ball, catch. Favor, it's just where he was, and he's also in his own way very karmic. And so, for myself, living with my mother, I was raised as broken divine feminine. Her narcissistic, busted divine feminine. She was abused as a child. And so that's where, for myself, that's the healing. I have to heal into the divine feminine. So if you look at my channel, if you look at me as a Cancer as well, right? I'm a Cancer, I'm a life path 5. So I am divine. That is the feminine on the zodiac as well. So for myself, my channel is a mirror of healing divine feminine, which then, once that's healed, allows you to find a balance, right, and step into your divine masculine naturally.
Yes.
It's a natural deal. You step out of sitting there pondering how your universe isn't working for you and what you want to do and how you can't figure it out, and 3 years later you're still sitting there pondering. That was me. And exactly. And so calling in or having them come in, I didn't call them in, they came in on their own, having all of the Kuan Yin and Isis and White Buffalo Calf woman, especially coming in and the grace that I'm getting from Kuan Yin and the direction, White Buffalo Calf woman keeping me, I've got her right there literally right across from me on my wall. I've got an art thing of White Buffalo staring at me, so she's keeping me on path. She's telling me that she's going to keep me on that path. The path can go like this, can wander.
Still but the same path.
All roads lead to Rome. There's nothing that they wouldn't have chosen. What they keep saying is all of you are chosen for something specific. Whatever you end up doing, unless you put yourself in jail, if it's a spiritual charge, you will get there.
Yes.
Trust, but it's a trust. It's in that trust. And you may have situations like I'm at right now where I've got to figure a few things out. I trust. That's where the trust comes in. I don't, but trust as well that there's a higher purpose to this, that I'm being channeled, hello, you have a higher purpose where you're not channeling for nothing and you're not just going to sit there and knowing that and having the trust in that.
Yeah. Josh, and I have to say too, you said something very, very wise there. So I want to go back to it for a moment. You said that when the masculine form can heal that broken feminine that's within, if that's a part of the deal, which it is for a lot of them, right? When they can actually heal that, then their true masculine side can start being presented and start showing up. And I have to say, if people did not hear that, please take that in, because it is so accurate and profound, and that is exactly, and it, you might understand it because you are a Cancer. I'm married to a double Cancer.
I'm a double Cancer.
Oh goodness. Okay, so I get you. I really get you.
I'm a Cancer South node. I'm a Cancer South node, and I'm a Cancer Sun. So knowing that
he's a Cancer Sun and Moon, it's crazy.
Ooh, I'm a Virgo Moon, but I find that if your Sun matches your South node, it may be the case. And my intuition tells me that you're in a repeat life, like you're rinse, repeat, try again.
Okay. Oh.
Because you're the same nodes you were Cancer before, you're a Cancer now. Wait, fix this. You didn't fix things. Come back. Time's non-linear, right? If time's non-linear and all time is happening at the same time, I can come back to any specific space and time. So if I've done this before, then I just reboot and come back and go, okay, let's start this over again. Because I didn't get the lesson.
Your Sun and your South node are in the same sign. It's kind of a, repeat and rinse. Yeah. I gotta say, I'm digging it, Josh. I think I've never heard it before. It's your intuition, it's your thoughts, but I'm digging it. So I'm gonna sit with that for a minute at some later date.
Sure.
But I get where you're coming from. I at least can acknowledge that right now.
Because I think
you're on something there. Yeah, I totally think you might be on something there.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like I screwed this up. I missed such a blaring lesson. It's like there's no other lesson for you. You have to go back, start over.
Right. Rinse
it may be different people in the universe, in my current universe, but it's the exact same story. I'm replaying it, in my opinion, so that wait a minute, now you got the lesson. All right, and now I'm getting the lesson. I woke up. Last time I karmically blew right through it, didn't wake up. If time's non-linear and all time exists at all time, then I can go to any space and time, right? Now, future, or tomorrow, yesterday. And so I just restart from here, because it's just an energetic field. So,
do you think there's more people right now living in more of a hardcore karma cycle? Because we're approaching a time that's like, you got to complete this. You have to finish this.
There's no new people on planet Earth.
Right. But what I mean is, how they talk about we're coming to an age that's like we can't take all that junk with us. We have to figure it out. We have to work it out and release it or whatever. We have to end it, right? Do you think more people are hitting more of those different cycles or themes over and over and over again in this particular life of now, just so we can make the right choice to, nope, I'm done. Nope, I'm good. I'm walking away, or whatever it may be. Meaning, they use the term light workers and whatnot, but oftentimes, quote unquote, light workers, they have it pretty rough, man. They have it very pretty rough. Is it so we can go, no, I'm done with this karma. Get out of here. I'm going to do this instead. Is that more prevalent now, you think, because of the times we're living in?
Absolutely, without question. What you're going to see is the delineation between those who are like the NPCs and whatnot, and then those who are really here as that. And of course, the new starseeds that are here, like the newborns and such, they don't have to deal with any of that. It's really us who are here on that awakening cycle with the first round of, not the newborns and the new light workers, the 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds who are just saying amazing, crazy stuff, right? You go on YouTube right now and there's like 5-year-olds saying stuff that blowing our minds.
I know, right? I love them.
Oh my God.
I love them.
I have this, I missed speaker there.
Oh, sorry.
Shelly was...
The show guy.
Just praise. We gotta show the praise, you know?
Thank you, Shelly. We love you.
Thank you, Shelly. Always wonderful.
But I believe that its cycles are ending, and it may not be this lifetime for people, but certainly within the next 3 lifetimes.
Yes,
what I'm
agreed.
Getting. And there's nobody here nobody's here on a visitor's visa unless they're a light worker. I mean, truly, that you've been here before. Anybody who's newborn has been here before, or at least once, because you have to know how this operates. In order to change the frequency, you have to have been in this frequency. You can't just show up and then change it. So, because you'll be that outside frequency that nobody you won't know how to match. So everybody who's here has been here at least once. 99% of us, outside of the newborn light workers that are the star childs, rainbow, whatever you want to call them, rainbow children, are here on a cycle of multi-lifetime cycle. That's why learning your pattern by having a past life regression session is huge, because you can see why you're here and realize, for example, like the first time I drank an entire bottle of Beefeater gin in 8 minutes.
Oh, God.
Why?
But how could I do that if I've never drank before? Well, turns out when I had my past life regression session, I died from alcoholism 2 lifetimes ago.
Right. Yeah.
So in 1913, I was an alcoholic pulling a metal press in New York City, outside of New York, with this 5,000-pound press smashing metal and with no guards or smashing hands.
Right.
Too, right? But and so I would drink every day and I died at a table. And what's funny is I used to have a replica of that exact same table. I didn't even realize it. And I had my past life regression session, and I'm like, I own that table.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the same hurricane chairs. But I died in there, and so the first time I drank in this lifetime, I was already primed for it, right? So I drank that entire bottle of Beefeater gin without even a question, because to me, somewhere deep in my soul, it reached back to that lifetime. It was a relief.
Yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
I get it. I totally get it. Trust me. I totally get it. And the great news is what you said at the very beginning, that we can gain the awareness of what cycles we keep repeating, what themes we keep repeating, what have you, and we can choose differently. We can heal, we can choose differently, we can love ourselves enough to say, I'm not going to do it that way anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. You have to clear the trauma first in order to say that, generally speaking, because you're doing that way because it's soothing and it blocks the pain from the trauma. So you have to clear the traumas. Then, once you start doing that, then it's easier. It's not always super easy to change all the other karmic stuff you're doing, all the stuff otherwise that you're doing, because patterns set in. Even if you change you could release the energy, but the pattern, now you got to release the past. So there's multi-levels to this, guys. Once you release the past and all of your heavy karmic energies from others that have programmed you, then you have to release all of the protections and stuff that you've created for that, and change the cycles of how you behave on planet Earth. And that can almost be harder in some cases, because you have to be more conscious about it than the free flow of the dark night of the soul.
Yes, fully agree. You have to be more conscious of it, completely, constantly committing to yourself and making that commitment to notice and change in the moment. Oh shit, I'm doing the same thing again. Change. Oh shit, I'm doing it again. Do something different. Like it's a constant.
The question I ask myself is, am I being karmic? And am I being karmic to myself? Am I being karmic in public? Am I saying, like, starting to ramble about something and putting energies in a negative way? Am I being karmic to myself? I do this. Saint Germain has this deal where he's talking about standing in front of a sirloin or standing in front of a T-bone. Which one do you buy? If you have the money to buy the T-bone, do you buy it or do you buy the sirloin and cheapen yourself out? That's being karmic to yourself when you want the T-bone. So those things as well, not learning how to really love ourselves and not repeat those low behaviors, those dragging behaviors, I'm not worthy behaviors throughout our growth, our healing.
That's wonderful because I use that in terms of, are you choosing to continue to live in the 3D mindset, or are you trying to live in the fifth dimensional mindset of, if you got the money, what are you buying? Or heck, even if you don't have all the money, what are you buying? Because are you going to trust that the money will be there? Or are you in fear that the money is not going to be there at all? Right? That kind of thing.
What vibration are you holding? Are you holding that vibration of trust and abundance? Are you, and for me, I'm still dancing in that. I'm going to be, it's not in because it's a physical thing. I know that I'm source. I know that, but when you have to jump in, sometimes it's not as I came up karmic for comment. I love it, Henny. Henny's our class clown. She's amazing. Everybody needs somebody with that kind of sense of humor in their class. I love it. We love you, Henny. You're amazing. But yeah, it's really about, okay, so now I've wrapped all these karmic behaviors into my patterns, right? And so I'm doing all these negative things. I have all these thoughts that aren't real anymore, and now I have to start changing those because I know they're not real. But yet at the same time, it's all ingrained in this pattern. So now that's like level 2 of having to wake up, and it's not easy. No, I'm going to be on, but I'm saying that. But of course, by saying that, I'm going to create it not being easy. So let it be as smooth as it can be. Grateful.
Okay, we're going to start wrapping up.
Yeah, see, I knew it. There's Lucky.
I don't want to. That's the problem.
I know.
Josh, we're gonna have to have you come back because this has been a pleasure. It has gone an hour and 16 minutes, but has not felt like that. It really has been a pleasure. I don't want to push you. Let's just say, do you have anything else to say, or?
I just want to tell people out there that, when you're down in it, and it's, realize that it's all programming. Everything that you're down in is, and it's cool. It's, as the layers peel, it's like you're an onion, right? As all of everybody else's programming. That's all it is, guys. And it's not easy to see until you start to see. It's all everybody else's programming, and as it peels away, and you start to find your core self. I will tell you what you see when you realize what you can really, what the universe really looks like. I'll leave it with this. I had this. My grandfather liberated Buchenwald, right? He literally is. That's the second largest concentration camp in World War II. So he cut the chains. He called Patton up. Patton handed him a bolt cutters, right? He was a signal man. So he ran into the wall, broke the cord, and attached the phone and said, "Yo, Patton, you better get up here." And he brought the entire Fifth Army with him. And so I've been carrying. So my grandfather cuts the bolts to Buchenwald, walks in. There's 100,000 dead people. He's Yiddish and Jewish and speaks Yiddish. So they keep him behind the gates for a while till talking to everybody, and they're all swarming him. And so I've been carrying. You don't know what you've got until I carried that generational sadness. I had no idea how. Yes. People call me Charlie Brown, Cosmic Charlie, if you know the Grateful Dead, and which is the same. It comes from Charlie Brown, but it's the same idea, right? And I had that energy, and I always was picked on. So sometimes you don't even realize what you're holding in your frame is not even yours to begin with. And so, as the generational breaker that I am, my mother, she had to take the brunt of all that energy. And so it's my job now to break it all, which favor will heal her, and heal my grandfather, he's not a favor, he's not alive anymore, but it'll help heal him in the astral. And so, you don't even realize when you're sitting out there, guys, don't even let go and just start letting go, because you'll see that all these things are going to start coming up. And when you really look into it, 99.99% of it was all given to you, thrust on you. It's not even you. And so it's like peeling away everybody else's garbage to find yourself. And that's really when you start to realize that, yeah.
Makes it a little bit easier then, huh?
A lot, because you're centered in yourself as source. It's just you had somebody broken teaching you how to live.
Yeah.
so now you
There
have
you
to
go.
reteach yourself. And really that's the divine healing, the divine feminine. It's learning how to reparent myself, remom myself.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely, Josh. Thank you. Yes.
So, Cortney, do you have anything to sum it up?
No, I'm not gonna take away from what Josh just left us with, because that's lovely. And it's true. It's authentic. It's true. It's the reality of what this process truly looks like. And
Absolutely.
I hope everybody makes a commitment to themselves to start peeling away those layers. That's just what I hope.
Mm-hmm.
And let them peel away if they come. If you start feeling that, and you'll know, it'll feel like an energy you've never felt before. It'll feel like a coat's being placed over you. If I want to state a dark veil, let it happen. Because people, you can push against it, but it's not going to go anywhere. Just let it happen. We don't control it. Our body is in control. We're source. We're just sitting in it. Our body's the one actually doing the one that's ascending. You're source. You can't ascend. You already are source. It's your body that's ascending.
Yeah. And I think, Josh, with what you said, being raised by broken people, I think we all have been. It's part and parcel of being here. And I think having the awareness of that and all its little parts, and then having to accept it and all its little parts, to then be able to heal it and forgive it and release it because it's not ours. That's lovely. This was a lovely time, Josh. Thank you. And thank you, Lucky, for hosting. You threw a great party, buddy.
Thanks for hanging out and leaning against your Egyptian cards there. Grateful.
Thank you very much for coming. And
thank you.
I think the most important thing is that cycles happen, cycles end, but the only way to restart and to grow and to continue is to end the old cycle and to start anew. And you can't start anew without ending the old.
That's it. And everybody's in that cycle. Look at it. I will tell you, if you have the opportunity to get a past life regret, if you keep seeing cycles and you're like, why am I? If you start to realize you're repeating stuff, that's what woke me up. It's like, wait a minute. This person reminds me, wait a minute, these are all the same people. And what's goofier is my last girlfriend was my mom from 4 lifetimes ago.
Can happen.
Yeah, totally. So when you realize, when you start to realize that, guys, let it happen. Just get a past life regression session if you can, because it will ground you into what your pattern, if you don't know it already, if you're not like, gee, everybody disappears from my universe, what's going on? And you might figure it out. But if you don't, and you can't figure out your pattern, that's what saved my life. I'm going to be, other than channeling, truly knowing that pattern, knowing what I chose, spin the wheel of what brokenness you want to walk into so that you can re-put yourself back together as source. And I spun the wheel of narcissistic abuse and abandonment. And so what did you spin? Once you figure that you can step through, it's so much easier because the patterns in your universe will start to come together like dominoes, and it's just so much easier.
Yes, agreed.
All right, everyone. Just remember the old cycles. It's all falling apart in the past, and it's all going to start new. And you can either like it and you can hate it, but what's next?
Bye, guys. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Lucky. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all. And if you're watching this to the end, you can put a comment. If you're watching this future, I'll read all the comments and respond. It doesn't matter. Good night, everybody.
Everybody in the chat, love you. Everybody watching outside of, come to check out Mr. Floyd. Love you guys.
Love you all.